All right, so I think we can start. Uh, First of all, we had already discussed about the different stages of production এবং production, distribution, exhibition আমরা বলেছি। I will just switch off my camera. আর আমরা বলেছি যে ভায়াকম নিয়ে বলছিলাম, আমি একটু ওয়াল্ট ডিজনি বলেছি, আমি একটু সিবিএস বলেছি, আমি একটু এনবিসি ইউনিভার্সাল বলেছি, মিডিয়া কংগ্লোমারেটস নিয়ে আমরা we were discussing media conglomerates, the parent companies. We were discussing the art house, the major film studio units they have, or rather the units they have. Some people, some conglomerates have more than one major film studios unit, depending on the flavor, as I was talking about. কেউ হয়তো অ্যাকশন বানাচ্ছে, কেউ হয়তো অ্যানিমেশন বানাচ্ছে, so that is there. অ্যানিমেশনের জন্য সেপারেট একটা ডিপার্টমেন্ট আছে. There is a thing called indie cinema or art house cinema জন্য there is a separate section আছে. অনেকে জনরা মুভি বানাচ্ছে বা বি মুভি বানানোর জন্য there is a section. So আমার স্টুডিও প্যারেন্ট বা কংগ্লোমারেট, I will look into the conglomerate or studio parent. We will look at the major film studio unit, secondary studio, if I say so, and art house or the indie, the genre movie or the B movie, animation part, and other distributions and all these things. Not distribution, I would say division. Distribution, some people may have the distribution segment, some people may not. They can give it to the third party, right? So the third party will take care of. They might be separately dedicated to the distribution of. So they will take care of the distribution, and these people are taking care of the production part. Now, from that, now OTT and VOD is also there. So OTT, you can have your own OTT. I will talk about Peacock, Hulu, Paramount, or HBO Max, and all these things we will talk about. OTT and TV, everything. Some people do not differentiate between these two. But we will specifically mention who is the conglomerate and under which, uh, what are the OTTs we can have, different production houses we can have. But let's start with one thing. Sometimes you see small production companies when they are starting out. There are independent companies, independent production companies. They are actually taking care of the production. So the actual production is largely handled by the independent companies. They may be long running entities, they may be created for and dedicated to making a specific film. So just let me start with that. Then gradually we will look at the Price Waterhouse report also, and one or two reports I have made myself. So there we can have the discussion. But first, you know the names and the way they work. So suppose you have an independent production house. You know, where do you see that? When the movie is starting, or the initial stages of the exhibition of the movie, you see a lot of names: Legendary, Syncope, uh, Rat Pack Dune, Rat Pack, then your Spyglass, Focus Features. You see a lot of names, maybe one, two, or three names. So, what are the names? There may be one big name, and there may be one small, one medium, depending on the scale. But what are they doing actually? So, independent production companies, right? Independent production companies, they are actually doing the production actually. Okay. So they might be long running entities, maybe long running entities. They are created for, again I am telling you, know thyself. They know their purpose, why they were created for, why they were created, what was their purpose behind the creation. So created for and dedicated to. Again your vision statement, all these things dedicated to. So again you can think of it as your vision, your mission statement, accordingly your strategy you are defining, whatever it is. So created for, there is a purpose. dedicated to, maybe there is a vision, right? Working in tandem. So these are the production companies who are actually making it happen. Now we have the big five. Suppose the big five, we talked about the big five major studios who are coming. What will they do? They can work as backers, they can work as distributors. Suppose you are making the production here, as I talked about, you are making the production here. If you need any help, these big studios are actually backing you. They might be giving you a brand, they might be giving you other help, intellectual assets, they might be helping you with their goodwill. That is also coming under the brand equity or brand equity. You know, so they are giving you that intangible. Something might be very intangible, which is translated into profits or revenue, right? So these are the big five major studios giving you that, etc. And any help you need in production. And the distributors, they are also giving you the distribution network, the way you should take it to the audience, because you are creating it. First, whatever you are doing, you are creating the movie or you are producing the movie. Producing in terms of your, they might help with finance also, back in finance. They might co-produce your movie, so you both become producers of the movie, depending on the shares you have, a percentage of partnership you have. Now you are creating and producing the movie in terms of actually producing the movie in terms of your crew, cast, your budgeting, scheduling, whatever you are doing. You are just producing the movie aesthetically, artistically, with your craft, with your talent, whatever it is. Sometimes they provide with talent also. So it depends, etc. So you're creating or producing the movie, and then what you do, you have to distribute the movie. Again, I will talk to you regarding terms of the four P's. First, you have the product. So let me talk about these four P's once in terms of marketing. You have the product, you have the pricing, and you are positioning it to the marketplace, right? And you are doing some kind of promotion. So what I want to mention is your there is one thing called marketing communication, or integrated marketing communication, or IMC. That's a subset of it. That is not the entire set. That's a subset of it, right? But very some people, they think that promotion is only marketing. Promotion is only a part of marketing or one of the four P's. So you need to look at the economics, you need to look at the supply and demand, you need to look at other factors also, the competitors, demand, and how the curve is shifting. Depending on that, you need to have an equilibrium price, or maybe you are having more than the equilibrium price, whatever it is. Depending on many things, you can have psychological pricing, you can have penetration pricing, but generally, when you are making a movie, penetration pricing is not that relevant. If you are really having a, if you are not really coming with a great strategy, so you might think about competitor-based pricing, you might think about market-based pricing, you might think about actually economical pricing, right? Depending on the economic forces. Now, your product is also a part of it. Your positioning, how you position it to the marketplace, and that requires a lot of trust. My friend, let me tell you, your positioning requires a lot of trust. If you are positioning it wrong and you are misguiding your customers, then your credibility will suffer. Credibility. Once or twice you may get success, but eventually you will fall. Now, promotion is what you are doing so that you are making it look like something as larger than life, whatever it is. But you are creating the movie, you are doing the distribution of the movie, you are taking it to the audience. Might be just like the wholesalers, retailers. We talked about different kinds of levels of distribution system, like zero level, one level, two level, three level, four level, whatever, depending on intermediaries you are having. You are just producer. Suppose you are the producer, you are straight away taking it to the customer. In case of OTT, you have it, or there might be intermediaries who can be also in between this, at least in the context of selling. But once you are doing it, you are actually taking it to the customer directly. So you might be the producer, you might be selling it to the OTT, and the OTT is giving it to the customer, right? And there might be other intermediaries as well, this, that, depending on the one or two. But ultimately, what it is, you are creating it and you are taking it to the customer. In between, there might be one or two or more than one like intermediaries, wholesaler, retailers, just like that. So you are distributing them. In the last part, as I already mentioned in the previous session, exhibition, where you are exhibiting your movie. Your movie is getting released in big screens. That is exhibition, right? And this exhibition, that big screen is exhibition, and you are doing deals in between the uh, you are doing deals in between, you are providing commission to the people in between. So it depends the way you are doing it. You are making a profit in between. You are signing contracts, signing deals, depending on your requirement or your purpose. But what you are doing broadly, you are creating the movie, you are getting it done, you are distributing the movie, and you are exhibiting the movie to the audience. Now, when you do the OTT platform, if you do the OTT platform, then the OTT platform, it might be Netflix, it might be Amazon, whatever it is, Hulu, whatever it is. So there you are just giving your movie out. So when you are looking at the, you can look at the movie from your laptop, from your mobile, whatever it is. But you are looking at the movie through the OTT platform. Sometimes what happens is that Netflix or some other people might think about exhibiting the movie in a big screen. So they might look at some exhibitors, some theater owners. If I talk about the theater owners in India, it's like PVR and all these people. They might talk to the theater owners that our movie is released in Netflix, but we want to do a premiere or we want to do a show in your theater. So you might book that theater and you might show as like an event exhibition of that movie, whatever it is. In festivals also we do that, and generally in commercial movies when it gets released, how many halls you capture, what is the geographical position of that hall, and what is the preference of the audience, demographics. Depending on that, you are actually booking the halls, more than one, more than two, more than three, and how it is happening, right? Depending on the customer preferences. This customer prefers this kind of movie. So depending on that region, depending on that area, you are actually doing. But what I am talking about, or Hollywood also talks about that, you are catering to a larger audience. You're catering to. So let me just tell you the difference. One type movie made for subset, and the larger set will conform. The larger set will conform. That is one way to look at it. The second thing will be made for larger set, and the subset will obviously like it. Great way to look at filmmaking. So this is what we are talking about. You make a movie where you are actually catering to a larger audience. Whoever, irrespective of whatever field they belong to, they will watch the movie in terms of entertainment, in terms of learning, in terms of an experience, whatever it is. They're enjoying the movie, right? So that is what we are talking about. And that's a very important statement, because if you understand that, the entire ecosystem will change. Now, let me talk. I already talked about Disney and Sony. you know, regarding distribution. I think I talked about Disney and Sony, two big people. So Walt Disney, we just loosely mention it as Disney, but this brand name is so popular that when you talk about Disney, people understand that you are talking about the Disney company, unless you specifically mention this is Walt Disney, the man who created the empire. So they distribute their films through affiliated divisions. So you can distribute it through affiliated divisions. Okay. Sony is there, Sony is there. So when you talk about Walt Disney, let me just briefly mention the full name. Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. So these are very common words you hear in the movie or entertainment business. And Sony Pictures releasing. In some movies, you will see that they have mentioned Sony Pictures releasing. The moment you see this releasing term, that means it has to do with who is distributing the movie, mostly. And then you have Universal, you have the Paramount. Again, I will mention these things. You have your Warner Brothers. This is very funny. I will just mention it. What is mostly and what is all the time? I will mention the difference between them. There will be another session based on that. Because you need to really understand the business. You really need to have a flavor for the entertainment sector, because you might see different movies of different genres. Sometimes you may come up with comedy, sometimes you may come up with uh, thriller, whatever it is, depending on your choice and taste. But again, I will come back to that thing. No concept, because Walt Disney has its flavor. If you look at Warner Brothers, it is having its flavor. This is if I talk about Walt Disney in one word, like fantasy, color, you know, then your dreams, imagination, right? These are the things. If you talk about Warner Brothers, there is something very dark, action, all these things. So that is why you don't have to typify the production houses, but you get the flavor of the production houses. Maybe that helps you to discover your range also. But again, coming back to Universal, Paramount, and Warner Brothers, what are they? They are both production and distribution companies. So they are both producing production and distribution. So they are producing their own movie, they are also distributing. Now Warner Brothers is having Water Tower Music, so you have your music section also, Water Tower Music. These are the things. Generally, when we talk about movies, there are few terms you need to understand. I just briefly mentioned the creating or the producing part. Some people call it as the development phase. Acha, people who are from the artistic part, from the movie making background, from the artistic perspective, you will realize this is pre-prod, this is prod, production, and this is post-prod. In your post-prod, you are making it happen. The movie, you are doing the shoots and everything. In your pre-prod, you are doing the scheduling, budgeting, you are doing your script writing. Most importantly, you are making your script, you are pitching it, all these things. So just getting a green signal, just getting a go. You are starting your shoot or principal photography it is called. So it is called principal photography sometimes. Principal photography, your shoot starts and all these things. When you are done with your shoot, you are going for the editing phase, or maybe VFX, or maybe other things. Sometimes your music also coming. Music is also coming in the post production phase. So in Candid Music Adda, in Aluron, we are talking about post production. Whether you have your composer at your production phase, or you have your composer in your post production phase, depending on the composer. We have talked about Alejandro Despla. Uh, he is coming after a certain point of time when the movie is done. Like we have talked about Thomas Newman, who is been very much involved in the production process also. So he is coming up with his sketches. So depending on the composer, you are involving your producer. So composers can be a Despla, sorry, can be Thomas Newman, post production process. In post production, we might have Despla who want to see the rough cut of the movie and they are jumping into the movie. So depending on the circumstance, totally. I mean, there is no hard and first rule, and you should not follow any hard and first rule. It depends on the artistic sensitivity. So it all depends on the artistic sensitivity, how they are comfortable, without compromising the storytelling part. The storytelling is the most important thing, right? You cannot compromise storytelling. So there is a development phase. You are doing the development phase, and you have the financing when your producers, your financiers are coming to finance your movie because you need the money. Briefly, this is the money part, but broadly, this is the money part. Then you have the marketing part, as I talked about. Development is also a part of marketing because you are doing product management. So that is your strategic marketing. And when you are doing the marketing promotions, mostly the promotion or communication that comes in your marketing promotion or the marketing part, marketing communication. That is one of your core piece. And then your merchandising in one thing. We talked about transmedia storytelling and all that stuff. When you do the transmedia storytelling, other things. For example, if you talk about this Warner Brothers, na, they have made this Dark Knight trilogy, right? So you will see in the toy stores, you have a lot of cards of Dark Knight, different kinds of Batman cards. So DC Comics characters, you will see that. That is also a part of Transmedia Store. Car, costumes, small dolls, characters. You will see that happen, right? Batman belt and all these things. That is also part of transmedia storytelling, where you're actually like using the merchandising. That is again your revenue stream. The revenue stream. So you're thinking about revenue. So people like the brand, people like the story, they can relate to the characters. They can relate to the story, they can relate to the characters. Something very substantial. Now, some people are doing it in a very short-term approach, with a very short-term approach. Some people are doing it with a very long-term approach. For example, you have, for example, if I only take Warner Brothers only, I have we have Tim Burton's Batman, right? Tim Burton's Batman that has its own flavor. From that, we have Nolan's Batman, Christopher Nolan's Batman, that has its own flavor, more dramatic, more human, uh, more poised. But Tim Burton showed the path because he really did a great job in terms of like bringing it on screen with the characters. So great characters, great performances. But Nolan took it to another level. So we have Batman. We have different evolution of the Batman costumes. That is also in the toys. You can relate to that. You might be a Tim Burton Batman fan. Someone else can be a Nolan Batman fan. Now you have got the new Batman. So Warner Brothers is continuously thinking about that branding also. How the symbol is changing. Jack Snyder came up with something else. That more broader symbol. That fat symbol in your Justice League and all that. But if you look at the Nolan's Batman, that is more cut out, chiseled more than Batman, and very prominent in terms of that Batman symbol, and that has a lot to say about it. And Nolan used that symbol in different ways. When you look at the posters of like the posters of Dark Knight trilogy, you will see the symbol is used in beautiful ways, artistic ways. So that is also telling you a lot about the story because especially in Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises, you can see the building is there, but the gestalt perception, psychologically, the gestalt perception is happening, and that is creating the back sign. Right? When I think the Batman begins in the start, there are clouds, and the cloud is making the shape of that bat sign. So in different ways, they have played with the Batman symbol, the signs. So that is how you can use it creatively. Let me just go to the next one. And don't fall into the trap. Especially, I'm talking about Indian scenario. Don't fall into the trap that know thyself is an issue. Again and again, I'm telling you, because if you don't know the producer well or the thing they really want to do, then what happens is you are investing a lot of effort during that process, but you won't get enough return because they don't understand it themselves. So eventually, you are going to fail. Rather, you take the decisions beforehand and do your research so that you save your resources. That's the thing. So let me just save this. Then, yeah. So as I hello, yeah. So as I mentioned again and again, that know thyself is a very issue. Know thyself is an issue. Sometimes you don't have to, but at least you know at least part of it. Reality check. That's missing because they want to live in illusion section in India. Sometimes people not as well. They're living in illusion. So when you do it from illusion, you're doing elusive stuff, and then also not enough creativity based on illusion. Also, creativity is not there. Only illusion, shallow illusion. We call it wannabes. That can be part of your fan, right? Not creators. So it is like let me tell you, when you are discussing all these things in that level, they are thinking with this level. You are bringing this thing, right? These are the things you are bringing, and you are thinking from this perspective. But they are small, so when they look at you, you become to them maybe this, whatever it is, maybe this, maybe this, whatever it is, depending on the people they are looking at. So depending on this, they are looking at. So you are this, they will look at you as this, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this. So what will happen is they will interact in that manner. They cannot see that, but a true artist, an artist can see that, right? So what happens is resource wasted. Things he or she can evaluate yourself, research will help. Otherwise, your time, your energy, most importantly, your momentum will be wasted. Momentum is a big thing because suppose at this point of time you want to make this movie and you are totally ready to make this movie, right? So you are like enthusiastic about making this movie. You have done your research, maybe you have done your research, you have done your workshop, whatever it is. You have like prepared your actors, you are continuously rehearsing your scripts, you have done. Suddenly, the momentum gets lost because of some foolish people or some stupid people, and then they tell you they don't even know where to produce that movie. Sometimes this, sometimes this. Eventually, what you do is your energy gets dissipated. Energy dissipated. Momentum lost. They think that since they are not improving, and they are not improving, since they are not improving, you won't improve too. ঠিক আছে? So what will happen is you will come to this place and you have lost your momentum, you have lost something, that zeal with which you wanted to make that movie, that zeal, enthusiasm, you wanted to make that movie. You have lost it, but they only see it from a monetary point of view. You just make a movie, you throw it to the audience, but you are looking at something more. They won't understand that. So that's why you check and you do the research, you evaluate so that they understand it really well and don't lose the momentum. Momentum is an asset. This momentum is an asset. When you become a filmmaker, when you want to make a movie, this momentum is an asset. Right? Sometimes you can bring to the movie which you couldn't do otherwise, based on your age, based on your that size point of your life, stage of your life, could have brought something more. Sometimes we look back, sometimes we look forward. Doesn't matter to them, but it matters to you because you want to tell a story. So there's a difference between tell a story. There's a difference between tell a story. So this is preferred. This is not. I mean, if you want to tell a story, then you can sell a story. Both should be there, not only sell a story. Then this is propaganda, right? So that is what we are talking about. Okay. Now, just let me briefly mention the usually near Los Angeles, that area is very good for making movies. So when you are around that area, you will get the vibe of this area. Just so when you are near that area, near that region, you will get the vibe of that region. Just give me 1 sec. I will just change the whiteboard. Again, I have already mentioned disruption uselessly without a cause, it doesn't matter. But if your disruption is helping people to see a new industry, new business, you are making innovation with disruption, then it has an impact. Otherwise, you are just disturbing others. You are becoming a nuisance. So that is a very shallow way to put disruption. Okay, so I will mention few movies. Okay, another thing where what you have to know about is Motion Picture Association. Motion Picture Association. This is called MPA. This is a good body you should know about. Now, if I talk about the chronology, I have already mentioned the name of the production houses, the conglomerates, if I say so. But you will understand that they have been there for a long time. How long? NBC Universal, big conglomerate, cost, they came into being 1912. Now with them, there was one called Paramount Global. I'm talking about the recent names. They have evolved, they have changed. Paramount Global. This is your national amusement. Again, 1912. Now, these are your 1912 people. And 1923, we got Warner Brothers. And also, you have to understand Warner Brothers. This is in 1923. Okay, now, and your Walt Disney Studios. Why I am putting these two together? Again, you will have the flavor of this two. Walt Disney Studios or the Walt Disney Company. 1923. Then you got the Sony Pictures. As I talked about this before, the foreign conglomerate. So your Sony, you have your Walkman, you have your TV and all that stuff. So this is your Sony Corporation. This is 1924. So you got two in 1912, your NBC Universal, Paramount Global. Your Warner Brothers you got, Walt Disney you got in 1923, and in 1924 you got the Sony Pictures. I already talked about the chronology. Okay. So these are like the conglomerates. You understand the flavor of it. Just give me 30 seconds and then I will join. One more thing I forgot to mention, that if you see that we know that Warner Brothers, right? Did anyone tell you about who were the brothers? Warner Brothers, only they are brothers. They are Harry, Albert, Sam, and Jack. These are the four people who are the Warner Brothers. Trivia. All right. So let me just start this. If you look at a conglomerate, I'll do the difference between a conglomerate and a comparatively smaller production house. Production. just we mentioned. Apart from that, there are few major films to it. Sometimes they are also known as secondary studio. Sometimes people are having art house, indie. Sometimes you're having a genre movie, maybe a film noir, maybe a thriller, maybe action. Animation. This is where in Walt Disney, this is where you have Pixar. They have put it in the animation section. Then you have the other divisions and brands. Other divisions, brands. And now they have come up with OTT. Okay. For example, if I take only one, if you have Disney, then in Disney in animation you need to have Disney for sure. But is it Disney Hotstar and all this thing? Disney is giving you OTT also. অ্যানিমেশন জনরা মুভি আর্ট হাউস কিন্তু সেরকম সেরকম খুব একটা প্রচলিত নয় বাট উই হ্যাভ লট অফ থিংস বাট ডিজনির ক্ষেত্রে যেটা হয়েছিল ডিজনি যদি আমি ডিজনির ক্ষেত্রে বলি ডিজনি যেটা করেছিল সেটা হচ্ছে ও 2006 এ যখন আমি 2006 এ যখন আমি বলি তখন পিক্সারটাকে পারচেজেস পিক্সার Again, Pixar, we have mentioned elaborately Ed Catmull, Steve Jobs, John Lasseter, their baby, Pixar, Toy Story, great breakthrough in terms of animation. Toy Story uh, game changer. Toy Story was a game changer. 2009, if I talk about 2009, they got Marvel Studios, or you can think of it as Marvel Entertainment. Right. In 2012, they got purchases. 2012, they purchased Lucasfilm, Star Wars. Lucasfilm is named after George Lucas, who is the creator of Star Wars. So this is the and there was a Bob Iger. There was a Robert Iger, a great CEO of Disney, who actually took that company in another level. Again, you know why I talked about this is, I think in the last episode or the one before that, I mentioned that your employee's vision or your employee's purpose is aligned with the company's purpose or vision. Then you can bring a lot into that field. You can bring a lot into that picture. So similarly, Bob Iger was one of those CEOs which we are lucky to have in the media and entertainment sector. His purpose and vision was aligned with Disney's purpose and vision, with which it was created in the first place. So he could bring a lot in that organization in terms of your human capital, in terms of your process, innovation, whatever it is. Even theme parks, when you look at the theme parks, Disney came up with experiential marketing or experiences. You go to China, you see a theme park which is having a different flavor. You go to other places, they are having theme parks. You go to the theme parks, you can see the characters which you have seen in the movies. You can relate to the characters. Again, transmedia storytelling. So Disney is also very good with transmedia storytelling. Disney is also very good with transmedia storytelling. experiences. Disney gives you an experience. Some people don't like Disney princesses. It's fine. That's the like independent choice or independent taste. But if you look at Frozen also, you can see the revenue it has generated. Frozen 1 and 2, beautiful movies. If you look at Beauty and the Beast, I prefer the Beauty and the Beast, not the Aladdin. Beauty and the Beast, if you have seen, John Legend, John Legend sung the Beauty and the Beast. A very different flavor they brought in that song because the initial song was having a different flavor. John Legend brought his own energy or texture or timbre in that song or that flavor. I say the essence of flavor, especially. But still, it is Beauty and the Beast. We cannot forget the characters. We cannot forget Gaston. We cannot forget the Beast. We cannot forget Belle. These are the characters that stay with us. That stories stay with us. Ultimately, it is about love, right? Portrayed through story, through characters, storytelling, imagination. Your kids will grow in a better way when they learn these stories. Moral character, you know. So that's what it is about. Value adding many aspects through many perspectives. One very good example. And yeah, just give me 30 seconds again. I will clear this. Okay, the evolution of the studios, especially the major ones. I may talk about it or I might not. Maybe I can do another session about it where I can talk about different, different studios or production houses, and I can tell you who acquired them and why it was a merger or it was a joint venture or different aspects of it. So we might do another session on it. Here I will mention another thing who are the mini majors. So we talked about the conglomerates, the bigger ones, and this is where we are talking about the mini majors. In your mini majors, uh, again you have your studio parent, the studio parent as your conglomerate, but it is mini major. So the term is big versus mini, big or major versus mini major. These are the two divisions they are making. Some and when I talk about the evaluation, I will tell you who fall into that, who rose into that. So that dynamics keep changing. But it depends a lot on the leadership the company has got because they are strategizing, they are taking they are working on their moves, they are thinking about their moves. So as I just mentioned, Bob Iger in Walt Disney, he did it in a very well way. If you look at portfolio diversification, if you look at it expanding your range in multiple ways, he took some great decisions. Now, when we look at Walt Disney, it has got a huge range. It is not only that Disney princess you have like Rapunzel, Belle, whoever it is. That is there, but apart from that, we still got something more, catering to a larger audience as well. So if you talk about Lionsgate, it has got the market share of like 2.24%. If you look at the Amblin Group, uh, it has got almost like 0% because they are not producing enough now. So STX Entertainment, there is one. It is having somewhere around like 2.4%. When you have the MGM Holdings, It's like 7.1%, 10%, 7.10%, 7.10%, sorry, not 1%, 7.10%. And then you have the government film company that is also there, 0%. They're not making numbers. There is a thing called the Egmont Group. This is also around like 0%. 0% almost you can think of they are not producing enough movies. They are just existing. Something like that. And there is a thing called Highlight Communication. Highlight Communications. This is also like 0%. And there is Neo Holdings. This is also 0%. So you can see that MGM Holdings move. Now MGM to Amazon is चला गया. As you know that MGM is now to Amazon. Amrin there and Dream of Seven. So the landscape একটা খুব নাম আছে. Landscape is still there. You know the meaning of it. Now, if I talk about all these things, I can talk about how they evolve. For example, let me just talk about this because this is that's a great storytelling. But let me just share one thing with you. This is the data of 2020. The data of 2020, and you will see that top 10 highest grossing worldwide, how they produce those movies. Just give me one second. Yeah, top 10. So 2020 data. Hang on for a second. Yeah, if you let me just talk a little bit about it. I created this report. This is the data of 2020, and if you can see or look at it closely, you will see at the top we have Universal Pictures, and they have got. Are you getting the sound? Is it there? Hello. Yeah. So if you look at the data, look at the Excel or look at the table. If you look at the table, you can see the name of the production houses and the number of movies they have produced in the second column. And this is the total worldwide box office collection we have given in terms of dollars. And I have just rounded it off so that you can look at it in the bar graph. Okay. Now, Universal Pictures at the top, number one, it is producing 254. You see Universal Pictures at the top, they are producing number of movies 254. Warner Brothers 249, Columbia Pictures 245, Walt Disney Pictures 130, Marvel Studios 62, Paramount Pictures 168, 20th Century Fox 108, Rat Pack Dune or Entertainment এটা ব্রেট রাটনারের করা খুব তাড়াতাড়ি খুব প্রগ্রেস করেছে really good job 70 number of movies Legendary Entertainment 61 Relativity Media 117. Now if you look at the total worldwide box office 43, 913, 150, 160 dollar. থেকে 10th যেটা হয়েছে $15,349,403,396 টোটাল ওয়ার্ল্ড ওয়াইড বক্স অফিস কালেকশন, ঠিক আছে। নাও ইন দিস, যেটা এখানে আছে নাম্বার অফ ফিল্মস, যেটা আছে রাইট সাইডে, যেখানে আমি দেখাচ্ছি হচ্ছে এই প্রোডাকশন হাউস গুলোর করেসপন্ডিং কতগুলো নাম্বার অফ ফিল্মস আছে। 254 আছে, এটা 250 অ্যারাউন্ডে আছে, ইউনিভার্সাল, ওয়ার্নার আর কলম্বিয়া। 250 অ্যারাউন্ডে ইউনিভার্সাল এর 254, ওয়ার্নার ব্রাদার্স এর 249, কলম্বিয়ার হচ্ছে 245। ওয়ার্ল্ড ডিজনি এখানে 130 করছে, মার্বেল করছে 62, প্যারামাউন্ট করছে 168, 20th সেঞ্চুরি ফক্স করছে 108, র্যাট প্যাক ডিউন করছে 70, লেজেন্ডারি করছে 61, রিলেটিভিটি ইজ প্রোডিউসিং 117 movies. That is there. Now, if you look at the total worldwide box office in terms of with respect to the production houses, then you can see that also the revenue, how it is there. Now, here I have put them together, number of movies and the revenue they have generated. So the YOLO part is the number of revenue, the amount of revenue generate. এটা রাউন্ড অফ করেছি বলে এরকম লাগছে, বাট এটাকে আরেকটু বড় করতে হবে, দেন ইট উইল বি ইজিয়ার টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড। বাট ইউ ক্যান স্টিল সি দ্যাট 43 এর কাছাকাছি এই ফার্স্টের তিনটে রয়েছে, তারপরে 38, 33, 30 এখানে যাচ্ছে এই তিনটে, তারপরে এটা 25 আছে, তারপরে 20 নিচে নেমে গেল। মানে আমি যদি বলি 40-র ওপরে এই তিনটে আছে, যদি আমি বলি 40 থেকে 30 রেঞ্জের মধ্যে তাহলে এই তিনটে আছে, যদি আমি বলি 30 থেকে 20 রেঞ্জে তাহলে এই একখানেই আছে, আমার 25.23। আর যদি আমি বলি আমার আন্ডার 20 যদি আছে তাহলে সেখানে আমার 1649, 1628, 1535, 15.35 আমার লাস্ট আছে রিলেটিভিটি মিডিয়া। এটা ইন টার্মস অফ রেভিনিউ আমি জাস্ট রাউন্ড অফ করে নিচ্ছি, টেকিং দিস অনলি আপ টু 4 ডিজিটস, ঠিক আছে। না, 254 এর সাথে সাথে আমি ট্যালি করে এখানে দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে নাম্বার অফ মুভিজ দে হ্যাভ প্রোডিউসড এন্ড দ্য রাউন্ড অফ, ঠিক আছে। এই হচ্ছে আমার একদম কোয়ান্টিটিভ ডেটা অ্যানালিটিক্স স্ট্যাটিস্টিক্স। আই অলরেডি নো অ্যাবাউট দ্য নেমস, আই নো অ্যাবাউট দ্য মুভিজ, আর আমি খালি দেখছি যে কি কি মুভিজ তারা প্রোডিউস করেছে, ঠিক আছে। নাও বিফোর টেলিং দ্য স্টোরি, আমি একটু প্রাইস ওয়াটার হাউস কুপারের একটু একটা ইসে দেখাবো, একটা ডকুমেন্ট দেখাবো, and you will get to know about that way we are heading towards. So this is like a document that Pricewaterhouse generates, and this is called Outlook 22. That means they are having the insights for the year 2022, and then you have the projection starting from 2023 to your through 26. So this is called Perspectives from the Global Entertainment Media Outlook 2022 to 2026, PricewaterhouseCoopers. Fault lines and fractures, innovation and growth in a competitive landscape. Right. So as you go through it, you will see that um, fractures in the post-pandemic reset, আমাদের coronavirus, just a second. Yeah. I hope you can see this. So you can see that they are talking about different things. Now, as we go to that, we just look at the data. This is US 2.9 trillion market, right? And year on year growth percentage you can see from the dots. 4.6% CAGR, যেটাকে expect করা হচ্ছে 2021 থেকে, if I look at 2000 through 2026, 4.6% CAGR, আমার annual growth expected. আর এই যে রেড যে বার্স গুলো we have, that means your US trillion in terms of E&M revenues. This is your global revenue, E&M revenue, global revenue, and in terms of revenues এটাও এখানে আমি যেরকম ভাবে রাউন্ড আপ করেছিলাম সেরকম টাইপেরই রাউন্ড আপ করা আছে। 0 to 3.5 এর মধ্যে নামানো হয়েছে। দিস ইজ ইয়োর 1.96, দিস ইজ ইয়োর 2.07। গো থ্রু দ্য ইয়ার্স, 2017 আমি দেখছি 1.97, এখানে যখন আমি 2018 দেখছি 2.07, আমি দেখছি 2019 2017 থেকে এখানে একটা ড্রপ হচ্ছে 1 2 তে, রাইট? এখান থেকে ড্রপ হলো, আবার 2 3 4 হয়ে গেল 21, এখান থেকে আমি দেখছি একটা রাইজ। এই স্লোপটা মানেই হচ্ছে ইট ইজ রাইজিং। মানে যদি আমি ডেটাটা না দেখেও আমি যদি জাস্ট কার্ভটাকে দেখে বলি, দ্যাট ইজ দ্য ফান্ডা অফ ডুইং চার্টস এন্ড গ্রাফস। আমি এই মানে স্লোপটাকে দেখে বলে দেবো whether it is increasing or decreasing। এই যে স্লোপটা, এই যে লেফট সাইডে ডাউনওয়ার্ড স্লোপ, এটা মানে এটা ডিক্রিজ করেছে। আর এটা যদি এইখানে যখন আমার এটা আপওয়ার্ড একটা স্লোপ হয়েছে, তার মানে এটা ইনক্রিজ করেছে। সিএজিআর এর কথা বলছি, ঠিক আছে? তাহলে 2006 আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি 2.93 এটাকে প্রজেক্ট করা হয়েছে রেভিনিউ। 2.93, 2025 হয়েছে 2, তার মানে আমরা এখন আছি 2022 তে, এখানে 2.51, এখানে উই আর স্ট্যান্ডিং হিয়ার, ঠিক আছে? 2022 তে সেখান থেকে আমরা এখানে প্রজেক্ট করা হয়েছে যে আস্তে আস্তে একটা অপটিমিস্টিক একটা সিনারিওই ধরা হয়েছে in terms of ecosystem and the corporate level strategies or your ecosystem, your industry, media and entertainment industry, in terms of that একটা অপটিমিস্টিক আউটলুক রয়েছে যে it is increasing, ঠিক আছে? And you can look at the bars and you can see that from 2022 এটা increasing gradually। এখানে আমার 2017 থেকে 2026 পর্যন্ত করা আছে। এটা হচ্ছে ডিজিটাল এন্ড নন ডিজিটাল। দ্য ইয়েলো পার্ট ইজ দ্য নন ডিজিটাল পার্ট এন্ড দ্য পিঙ্কিশ রেড পার্ট ইজ দ্য ডিজিটাল পার্ট। এখানেও আমার কিন্তু ইএনএম অ্যাডভার্টাইজিং রেভিনিউ বলা হচ্ছে, এটা ইউএস ট্রিলিয়ন। তাহলে অ্যাডভার্টাইজিং মার্কেটকে আমি দেখছি। তাহলে ফার্স্টে আমার একটা জিনিসকে বুঝতে হবে, আমি এখানে যেটা দেখছি, যদি আমি এটাকে বলি, ঠিক আছে, এখানে আমি দেখছি 2.9 ট্রিলিয়ন মার্কেট ইন এন্টারটেইনমেন্ট এন্ড মিডিয়া আউটপুটে। আর যদি আমি দেখি এখানে অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্টে শুধু দেখি, তাহলে এখানে আমি দেখবো যে US 1 ট্রিলিয়ন আমার মার্কেট, ডিজিটাল নন ডিজিটাল মিলে 6.6% সিএজিআর দেওয়া হয়েছে গ্রোথ, ঠিক আছে? আচ্ছা, এইখানে আমি যদি দেখি, এখানে আমার স্পেন্ডিংটা একটা শিফটিং মিক্স। আই হ্যাভ অলরেডি টকড অ্যাবাউট হোয়াট ইজ দ্য শিফটিং মিক্স, কনজিউমার বিহেভিয়ার নিয়ে যখন আমি বলেছি, digital natives and all these things I was talking about, that's a part of this। তো এখানে যখন আমি দেখবো যে একদম উপরের যে লাইনটা, দ্যাট ইজ আওয়ার কনজিউমার স্পেন্ডিং, এইখানে নেমেছে, এইখানে আস্তে আস্তে ডাউনওয়ার্ড হয়ে 33.5% গেছে, ঠিক আছে? 2026 এর দিকে যাচ্ছে, আমরা এখন 2022 তে আছি, বাট এটাও ওই আস্তে আস্তে নামছে। এবার যদি আমি এই কমলাটা দেখি, অরেঞ্জ ওয়ান, দ্যাট ইজ ইউর ইন্টারনেট অ্যাক্সেস, সেটাও আমি দেখছি এরকম। আর আরেকটা আছে আমার অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্ট, যেটা এই ব্ল্যাক লাইনটা, যেটাকে ধরা হয়েছে এটা একটা অপটিমিস্টিক ওয়েতে। 30 একটু নিচে ছিল, সেখান থেকে 35.1% 2026 এ করা হয়েছে। গেমস একটা বড় প্লে করবে, সেখানে গেমস নিয়ে আমি পরে একটা সেশন করবো, যে গেমসটা কিভাবে এফেক্ট করছে, একটা গ্রাফে আমি বলবো। বাট নর্থ আমেরিকাতে আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি এটা এটা হচ্ছে ইএনএম স্পেন্ডিং। ইএনএম মানে হচ্ছে আমার এন্টারটেইনমেন্ট এন্ড মিডিয়া, অর মিডিয়া এন্ড এন্টারটেইনমেন্ট, এমএনই বলে কেউ, কেউ ইএনএম বলে, হোয়াটএভার। সো দ্যাট ইজ ইউর স্পেন্ডিং পার ক্যাপিটা বাই রিজিয়ন, ঠিক আছে? নর্থ আমেরিকাতে আমার যেটা আছে ওয়েস্টার্ন ইউরোপ, সেন্ট্রাল এন্ড ইস্টার্ন ইউরোপ, এশিয়া স্পেসিফিক, লাতিন আমেরিকা এন্ড মিডল ইস্ট আফ্রিকা, ঠিক আছে? এটার মধ্যে আমি এখানে যদি আমি বলি রাইজিং কনজিউমার্স, যদি আমি বলি টপ 10 কান্ট্রিজ বাই কনজিউমার গ্রোথ সিএজিআর অনুযায়ী, তাহলে আমি তুর্কিকে দেখবো কিন্তু একদম নাম্বার 1 আছে, 14.2% আমি সিএজিআর দেখতে পাচ্ছি। তারপরে আর্জেন্টিনা, তারপরে ইন্ডিয়া। ইন্ডিয়া ইজ স্ট্যান্ডিং হিয়ার এট দ্য থার্ড প্লেস, 9.1। So that is one thing. This is the gaming time, কিভাবে ইনক্রিজ হচ্ছে। এই ইয়েলো পার্টটা হচ্ছে পিসি গেমস, ইওর সোশ্যাল এন্ড ক্যাজুয়াল গেমিং হচ্ছে এই বড় পার্টটা, আর এই ব্ল্যাক পার্টটা হচ্ছে আমার ইন্টিগ্রেটেড ভিডিও গেমস অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্ট, আর এটা হচ্ছে কনসোল গেম। অরেঞ্জ পার্টটা হচ্ছে আমার কনসোল গেমস, সোশ্যাল এন্ড ক্যাশিং, মানে স্টার্ট হচ্ছে এটা থেকে। নিচের যেটা নিচের পার্টটা যেটা আমি দেখছি, এটা একটা কমপ্লেক্স বার চার্ট দেওয়া আছে, যেখানে অনেকগুলো ডেটা একসাথে দেওয়া হচ্ছে। পিপল হু ডোন্ট নো, উই উইল ডু আ সেশন অন দিস স্ট্যাটিস্টিক্স এন্ড ডেটা অ্যানালিটিক্স। সো এই যে নিচের পোর্শনটা যেটা আছে, সেটা হচ্ছে আমার সোশ্যাল আর ক্যাজুয়াল গেমিং, তার উপরের পার্টটা হচ্ছে আমার পিসি গেমস 25.5, তার উপরটা আমার 23.8, যেটা আমার অরেঞ্জ পার্টটা কনসোল গেমস, তার উপরের একদম লেয়ার যেটা দিয়েছে সেটা হচ্ছে আমার ইন্টিগ্রেটেড ভিডিও গেমস অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্ট। সবটা এক জায়গাতেই দেখিয়ে দিয়েছি সো দ্যাট উই ক্যান সি দ্য চেঞ্জ হোয়াট ইজ হ্যাপেনিং 2026 এর মধ্যে। এগেইন অপটিমিস্টিক লুক, ওপর দিকে যাচ্ছে সেটা পাওয়া যাচ্ছে। এখানে আমরা দেখেছি সিনেমা রেভিনিউজ আসছে আমার এই পিঙ্কিশ রেড পার্টটা, অ্যাডমিশনসটা হচ্ছে আমার বিলিয়নে, আর এটা হচ্ছে ওই ডলার বিলিয়নে, দুটোর মধ্যে একটা কম্পারেটিভ স্ট্যান্ড। And then again, new platforms, connected TV advertising, 20 countries only. We would go there because we are talking about movies only today. And this is your quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four. এই যে চারটে সেটে ভাগ করা করা আছে, এটা ইয়ার ওয়াইজ 2019 এর চারটে কোয়ার্টার, 2020 এর চারটে কোয়ার্টার, 2021 এর চারটে কোয়ার্টার, 2022 এর অনলি কোয়ার্টার ওয়ানটা দেওয়া হয়েছে, which is 416 নাম্বার অফ ডিলস যেটা হয়েছে, ঠিক আছে। মার্জার অ্যান্ড অ্যাকুইজিশন ভলিউমস হতে পারে, ইএনএম হতে পারে, মিডিয়া অ্যান্ড এন্টারটেনমেন্ট হতে পারে, নাম্বার অফ ডিলসটা দেওয়া হয়েছে 2022 তে কোয়ার্টার ওয়ানে 416 খানা ডিল হয়েছে সো ফার। এরপরে কোয়ার্টার টু আছে, কোয়ার্টার থ্রি আছে, কোয়ার্টার ফোর আছে, ফিসক্যাল ইয়ার নিয়ে এগুলো আমরা বলেছি আর কি অলরেডি। বিড আছে $44 বিলিয়ন গ্লোবাল প্ল্যাটফর্ম, ঠিক আছে। কয়েকজন আর্টিস্টের নাম দিচ্ছে, উই অলরেডি নো অ্যাবাউট দ্যাট। সোনি মিউজিক যেমন ব্রুস স্প্রিংস্টিনকে নিয়েছে $550 মিলিয়ন ডিসেম্বর 2021-এ, স্টিংকে নিয়েছে ইউনিভার্সাল মিউজিক। সো উই টকড অ্যাবাউট দিজ conglomerates in terms of your productions, like মুভি নিয়ে আমরা কথা বলছি, সিনেমা নিয়ে। হিয়ার ইউ ক্যান সি অ্যানাদার পিকচার। এখানে এখন আমরা মিউজিক্যাল আর্টিস্ট, মানে মিউজিক সেক্টরটায় জাস্টিন টিম্বারলেককে নিয়েছে এরা। হিপনোসিস, হিপনোসিসটা স্পেলিংটা লিখেছে ওরকম ভাবে, হিপনোসিস সংস ক্যাপিটাল, এটা আমাদের $100 মিলিয়ন দিয়ে করেছে। এটা করেছে স্টিংকে নিচে ইউনিভার্সাল $300 মিলিয়ন। অ্যান্ড ইয়োর এটা হিপনোসিস সংসটা ক্যাপিটাল নামটা খুব সুন্দর দিয়েছে, দ্যাটস আ ভেরি ক্রিয়েটিভ স্টাইল। হিপনোসিসটা যেটা দিয়েছে, হিপনোসিস ইট ইজ সাউন্ডিং লাইক দিস, বাট হিপস্টার জাস্টিন টিম্বারলেক ইজ সামওয়াট লাইক আ হিপস্টারের সাথে সাথে পপ সবকিছুর একটা মিক্সের একটা ব্লেন্ড আছে, but the personality he carries with him and the hipster approach. So সেখান থেকে that matters a lot. I talked about know thyself and know your flavor. When you talk about Sony music, Sony একটু ফ্লেভারটা আলাদা, and Bruce Springsteen একদম মাটির বন্ধু, আমেরিকার the soil of USA, it is there in Bruce Springsteen. So that is also there. Paul Simon, Simon Garfunkel, Paul Simon. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? We have seen all these songs. We have heard all these songs. সো সেখানে যখন হচ্ছে সোনি মিউজিক ওকে নিচ্ছে $250 মিলিয়ন, দেন স্টিভেন এক্স প্রাইমারি ওয়েভে নিয়েছে। সো ইট ম্যাটার্স এ লট। সোনিটা দেখে আমাদের মনে হচ্ছে ব্রুস স্প্রিংস্টিন, পল সিমন দেখলে আমাদের মনে হয় একটু ক্লাসি, একটু মাটির সাথে টাচ আছে, একটু সোলফুল। স্টিংয়েরও সেটা আছে, বাট স্টিংকে ইউনিভার্সাল নিচ্ছে আর একটু পপের দিকে যাচ্ছে, জাস্টিন কিম্বারলেক একটু হিপস্টার করছে। সো আমি টাইপিফাই করছি না, বাট ইউ ক্যান আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড সামথিং the kind of brand they want to make, right? Forecasting methods, they have used the forecasting method, collaborative integrated process. They have also, as I am mentioning again and again, that you have to use both the quant and qualitative process, quantitative and the qualitative. So they have used both rigorous process, scoping করেছে, মার্কেট ম্যাপিং করেছে, ডেটা কালেকশন করেছে, স্ট্যাটিস্টিক্যাল মডেলিং করেছে, and validation করেছে। So all data charts and graphs যেটা করেছে, unless stated otherwise, তারা ওর মধ্যে কোয়ালিটেটিভ কোয়ান্টিটেটিভ দুটোই করেছে নিয়ে we have got this data analytic report, ठीक है। So this is the way about PWC, we don't go there, but you have understood this। 4.6% বলেছে ওরা থ্রু আমার CAGR through 2026, সেটা ওরা এক্সপেক্ট করছে 4.6%। ঠিক আছে, বাস এরকম কতগুলো আছে। ডেলয়েট এরকম একটা করে, I will in the next session I will talk about Deloitte also. But you have understood the basics of business, you have understood the essence of the companies, you have understood some of the stories of the companies, You have heard about the stories of the companies. Now, at last, we end with a report where you are looking at the companies. We are looking at the number of films they have produced in different years, the growth rate we have seen the revenue they have generated worldwide. So this is it. I will end it here. In another session, I will do maybe after a few days. There, I will mention individual production houses and we'll talk about merger acquisition. We will talk about joint ventures, and I will talk about how the deal happened. What were the assets they looked at? What was their strategy? So we will pick a few of the companies and we will talk about. Just like we have mentioned the Columbia TriStar, we got the Columbia Pictures Entertainment. We talked about how Walt Disney purchased your Pixar Animation Studios, your Marvel Studios, Marvel Entertainment, your 2012, your Lucasfilm, all these things. So we will talk about that. What was the reason behind it? What was the strategy behind it? Insights, what you can get from the data, what you can think about the essence of the company. And again, I will say, know thyself, right? Look at your market, do a thorough research, get some insights from that market, then you can make great innovation. Ultimately, you are catering to the customers. Uh, they are the one who are actually enjoying the uh, offering you are providing to the marketplace, as well as they are the one who are buying it. They are investing in it. So they are your one of the most important stakeholders, right? So how you communicate uh, to your stakeholders, that's a big part of the business, be it any business. This is where we are talking about the media and entertainment industry, but in any industry you have to respect your stakeholders. That's a matter of trust. So let's end it here, and I hope you enjoyed this session, and in the next we will do a case study where we will show what are the problems we are facing in the current Indian market scenario. Thank you. Like করুন, share করুন, subscribe করুন, and think about it. Think about it. Look at the films and think about it. How they are performing, how they can perform. You can get a lot of insights.